Alrighty. Uh, Welcome to episode 6. Or, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am your bird boy hero, and I am here back with episode 6 of a Newbie's Life series for the MMO known as FlyFF Universe. That sounds. Uh, I guess we'll just pick up where we left off last time, and that is, this will be a day of doing nothing but quests. I already tell that's how this is gonna go. Um, But other than that, I didn't do that. We've almost reached that point where doing this quest. I don't know. Anyway, we've almost reached the point where doing the Bridge to Terabithia quest is actually possible. I'm going to probably start work on that Sidekeeper here soon. What what we're gonna do is we're gonna start there. We're gonna start trying to get this Bridge to Terabithia quest done, and then we'll head out from there. But yeah, I'm gonna keep doing what I've been doing in that every other episode, like every even episode, I'll probably be solo, and every odd episode, I'll be, you know, I'll have my friend on. We're trying to get it set up. He doesn't have a PC, so he can't play with me, and his phone ain't the best for this. But we are working to get it set up to where me and him could actually play this together at some point. It's just he needs a computer, and yeah. But yeah. Anyway, I want to go ahead and I guess address the elephant in the room before I get too deep into this, and that is I now know what it's like, or now understand what people mean when they say something like the YouTube algorithm has forsaken them, for lack of a better word, because man, oh man, like one part of the reason why I started this series was because it was doing relatively well in the grand scheme of things. And by that I mean, everything was seeing like double digits, way more than the 14 subscribers I have. Shout out to y'all, by the way. Um, but yeah, so but as of I won't say yesterday's episode, or not yesterday's, but the last episode, but like 2 episodes ago, and then last episode it went. They capped out at 39 and 5 respectively, and I'm just like, I'm just sitting here like, wow. I'm not gonna throw in the towel though, because I'm not recording this for that reason, and I'm not expecting rampant success off of a game this old and not well known. But I just kind of wanted to be like, just to, hey, here's the elephant in the room. But that's neither here nor there. Where's uh I hope I can actually beat it this time, because if I de-level from this, I'm gonna cry. And he's still alive. Okay. Nope. Oh god. so stressful. This is so stressful. This is so stressful. And I'm gonna have to keep my HP topped off. And that's why. You gotta pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. Pay a lot of attention. Nope. Okay. Nope. Oh, God. Okay. Okay, okay. Sorry, I'm not saying much. I'm really focused. And that's why. Oh, it's done. Oh, it's done. Okay, cool. Sadly, that is like the first of 4 or 5 um boss hunting quests that we're gonna have to do. Up to level 60. I'm not gonna do the Mars dungeon one because until a much higher level, because even with our like a RM buff set and everything, it's still just it's more annoying than anything. Because for those who know, you know, but for those who don't, Mars Dungeon is I've actually walked into it a few times on this character to kind of try to, you know, get some quicker leveling done. But uh it's it's different than that. Also, why am I running back? Uh keep your thoughts in order. Okay. So, it's there's this room at the end that's got monsters, vice veticus, so on and so forth. Long story short, each one of them is quote unquote a giant or boss monster, depending on who you're asking. Each one of them is they basically it's that fight that I just did, but worse. And it's unfortunately more of a headache to deal with that than it is go through the trouble because the only thing you get is a power dice box, and that's fine. It works because that there are more quests to this. Fair enough. Right, that's the flying quest, which I'm gonna need a board for. Or a broom, depends on your preference. I take these off my quest. Quest. There we go. Oh. Right, the Vice Veticus. So yeah, it's just a rough quest, even if you do have everything that you need, and a lot of folks, myself included, would just not do it, and that's fair because, it's not really like you can't sell the power dice, and unless you happen to roll into like the 1 or like the 10s or 12s, like the really rare ones, that's fine. It's college education. But it's like it's not something you can sell, and newbies won't really get a whole lot in terms of EXP or anything. out of it anyway, unless you're able to do it at level, which is not really feasible. It's not impossible. It's just not worth it, I guess is the best way I could describe it. I am gonna need a board for that too. Oh, right, I gotta go talk to her. Basically, what I'm getting, this is this, sound switch called the Dark. This quest right here. It starts the Mars Mine dungeon quests, and they're okay. Like, I'm not gonna make jokes. Like, they're alright. Like, it gives you probably, like, I think if you do all these quests, it gives you, like, a level or two, which is fine, because it leads into more quests. And for a new player, doing these quests is paramount, because what it'll give you is your jewelry up here. Like, I've already got the dim all. It gives you a HP necklace, a gore necklace +3, I think another stamina ring, plug if you want more defense, and, yeah. Okay. Oh, crap. Um, yeah, I'm gonna hold off on that, on doing her quest, because if you actually start the, yeah, if you actually start the Law of Aviation 3, you are not gonna be able to leave or teleport until it's done, and, I'm gonna go ahead and be honest with you. That wouldn't be so bad if I could just grab a, you know, if I could just grab a couple of million off of one of my more. That was my timer. Anyway, um, if I could grab the money I need off of one of my other characters, I'd already be done with this by now. But it's not gonna fit into the rules that are established for this, so I'm not going. Also, what kind of title can I do? You know what? Yeah, that'll be fine. Just because I actually did grind. Actually, I didn't. I only grinded for it on my mage or my elementer. Some of these titles are really, really funny. Let's Nutty Wheels, the Drillers, the Siliacas, the Carrier Bombs, and the Tonka. Those are the ones I do have. I've got another title I want for personal reasons is one that I'm currently working on, quote unquote, on my Ranger, and that is the Phoenix title. I am going to get Lumberjack, regardless of how I feel about it, because once my knight gets up the level and I find a solid healer, I'm just gonna go fight these things, and I've only got to kill what 1,332 more. Yeah, 1,332, 1,432. No, 1,432. My bad. Um, and then I'll have that title. Phoenix is gonna be the one I work with after that. I've thought about getting some of these lower level ones, but I just have never. You're usually not there leveling long enough to care. Okay, I've got two power up here. Hey, we can actually fight these now. I forgot about that. I will gladly take that, actually. Like, these scrolls are actually quite nice. Yeah, see, that's the typical way to go about leveling. They've got the right idea. But, again, it's not something you'll really have access to. Or most new players will have access to, so. It's not something that I'll do. I showed it off in the last couple of videos. so I'm not going to beat a dead horse about it. But I will say this though: this is a very interesting experience because I always play this a certain way. Like I would make like this would not be a blade. This would be an assist if I were doing this as I would normally make like a new account. So it feels really strange to, I guess, play like this, but I don't mind. I should grab those strawberry shakes, but I haven't seen. I'm not gonna be here long. I actually made a friend, shortly after that not last, the third episode? My last solo venture. And they're currently trying to get the Sweetheart title, which is consumed 20, not 20, 100,000 strawberry shakes. And strawberry shakes are not something you can buy. They're something you have to find via monster drop. And yeah, you're set than done. You know, this game would be nice. Uh, it could drop me a battle shield, which is nothing special, but it is a little bit better defensively than this, and it gives a +1 to every stat. I need one more. I ain't gonna fight you because that's just a one of death sentence. Not what I'm after. That quest is done. I'm gonna do that. I'm trying. The thing is, I'm trying to debate. Do I use my scroll of return town or not? Because it means I can just teleport back here to save some time. But I think I'll. That's gonna come in handy way further down this quest line. Yeah, no. That's what I was saying a second ago. This is such an interesting experience for me because it is the way I feel the game is meant to be enjoyed for a newer player. Sure, it's slow, but heck, in like 5 hours, for all intents and purposes, getting 20%. Yeah, no, that's right. Um, Getting this far is kind of nice, actually. Okay. Think level. I think we get the access. We get access to the Maya quest line too, which will give us a core necklace. Increase our survivability, which is exactly something that we need at the moment. I needed. Reminds me, I did sell a sword of silver. That was long before I decided to. This. Uh, back. No, back. It does. Nice. You know what? I realized something. This would be so much better if it was a buff as opposed to a an attack skill. Maybe like tone down the lifesteal to something a little bit like better, like maybe 2% or whatever. Or just something that it would be more balanced, but that would make this class much more independent. And that is quite nice. Hey, buddy. Well, go ahead and use that. It's better to just use it than way because the bull hamstern, it's okay. It's really good at these level at like these lower levels, but like as you level up way higher, um, its effectiveness goes from being really good to just you kind of just shrug your shoulders at it. So we've got 2 quests to do. XP. I need. That gets 15. That gives 9. Not worried about that. I need cute one. I need. What? I will say something that I think is interesting, if not a little bit strange, about these initial quests is that it has you hunt a boss at level 15 and it has you hunt a giant, and then it gives you these normal mob slaying quests. It's like, why not build the player up to that point and like all the challenge is in quest 1, and then the challenge kind of drops off. I that is something I've always found weird, and it's not something unique to this game. Like there are some like game design choices that are I've seen over the years where it's like, here's all the difficulty at the beginning. Once you clear this hurdle, it's all downhill from there. It's like, fair? Prime example, I'm also currently playing through Shin Megami Tensei's Devil Survivor, and I've reached the point that the second point in the game where it's unfair to the player, to put it as nicely as I can. So for those who may not have played the game, long story short, you're stuck in Tokyo, standard Shin Megami Tensei stuff. You get stuck in Japan, usually Tokyo or one of the other major cities, and you're fighting some kind of war, and most of their games end up with you doing one of 2 things: killing your friends, killing God, and either becoming a demon lord yourself, siding with the angels, or choosing a path of neutrality, which 9 times out of 10, I either go for neutrality or I go the demon route. Because, yeah. I don't like how the angels are portrayed in that game, in any of the games, because all they are, when you really sit down and think about it, they're just a bunch of self-righteous hypocrites who remind me way too much of people that I know IRL, so I'm like, They're like, oh, like in Devil Survivor, you're literally talked to and been like, it's like, oh, become the Messiah and lead mankind back to His will. If you do not obey, we will legitimately we will literally eliminate everyone in this circle. And it's like, it's a little, and later on you come to find out Hey, by the way, we're the ones behind this predicament, and you're just sitting there like, okay, so why? It's like, isn't there a better way of testing mankind's resolve than putting them through the worst things imaginable and seeing if they crack like an egg? Also, I guess I'm spoiling the story, but I'm not gonna lie. It's the stories in those games often to follow a kind of a strict one, two, three in terms of plot. Like, hey, you're stuck in Japan. Hey, the world is under threat. Hey, go kill God. That's basically what it boils down to. I will say the fun parts of those games is more of the combat system and the nuances behind it. Like a lot of those games are what I like to call philosophical thought experiments. It it really preys upon a player's mentality to make choices based on their own alignments, and what gets me is I almost always either go demon or neutral because I just said it. I literally just explained why, so I'm not gonna again. Um, and the problem with those endings is usually they end up being the harder of the two. And realistically, um, the games are very difficult. Like Devil Survivor has an interesting problem in they do the boss fights in Devil Survivor really, 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 and what that means is a lot of the normal fights in the game are pretty easy. You fight teams of three, and and as long as you keep your team diverse, and by that I mean as long as you got your elemental types covered, stuff like that, then you won't have too much trouble. But the boss fights in that game, you're basically fighting over the throne of Bel, for lack of a better way to put it, and I'm not going to spoil much of what that entails. So, run into various boss fights with demons that have the name of Bel. They're very hard. They usually have some stupid gimmick, or they hit harder than any enemy you've ran across for a long time. Like, for example, the one I'm fighting now, Fire Demon. He gets if you don't strip away his extra turn, he gets 6 attacks with stats that basically wrap him up like a team of 3 in one character. So I get why they allow the bosses to attack 3 times. I get it; it kind of balances it out. But the problem is that their stats hardly coincide with what they're asking. Like my teams are not like weak by any means. They're not. I don't. I run physical builds, and in those games, it's pretty dang broken. But if you're not uniquely tailored to dealing with those boss encounters, you're gonna have a hard time. Like I thought I could kind of more power my way through it through, like, basically brute force it. That's what I thought I could do, and it kind of worked. And the only reason why it didn't was uh well, let's put it nicely. The bosses don't play nice. I took out all of the surrounding demons that start in the fight, but once it gets to half health, it does an entire map wide AoE attack to everybody, and you're gonna be pretty hurt by this point. At least I was. Um, but once it gets to half health, it hits you with that and summons just as many enemies as you've already dealt with for round two. So how you beat it becomes one of three ways: either burn the boss, unintended, uh, either burn the boss down so the enemies just despawn before they have a chance to reach you, or because this game doesn't have items. Like you can't like you have to build your teams to have certain abilities so if you want the chance to recover. Like I won't say like into perpetuity because that's not right. If you want to recover it all, you need abilities like blood wine or sacrifice or tyranny, which means you have to build your team a certain way. Like my main character's team, he's all about what I like to call the Strike Force tactic, in that he's got Devil Speed and Phantasma. And what that means is he can move 7 spaces per turn, and he phases through objects. Nothing really stops him from getting where he's got to go. And movement cost is reduced by 50%, so if he needs to, Usain Bolt across the map, it's not going to be something that is too detrimental. So my team, as of that point in the game, which I'm probably going to work, is Mothman, and for him, it's Mothman and Kresnik. Because Mothman has Devil Speed and Kresnik has Phantasma. Other than that, I've got a team of healers, magic use, the offensive magic users, and the fourth slot, which is what I like to call physical build part 2. Because it's nowhere near as strong, because with the way that game works, you have to get your skills from enemies and such, and some skills are story fight specific. So if you don't get the skills you need in that one turn, or that one fight, you're going to be barred from it until either much later in the game, or pretty much at all. But yeah. So I just want to tell the story about what happened, like my last attempt at the fight that I was on. So I got all the enemies burnt down, and I got the boss to about half health, and then I just when uh it summoned reinforcements or whatnot. I knew I could have kept fighting, but I ran into a very specific problem that I did not have a counter for. And that specific problem was I forgot that enemies, the way healing works is you can use it both in and out of combat. Um, so what had happened was I got the boss to about 10% HP, and then one of the monsters came in. This is gonna be if you know kind of moment. It cast Diarahan, and for those who don't know, I'll explain just because, yeah. Long story short, the boss went from 10% HP back to full, and I did not have the resources available to keep up the fight. So, yeah, it was a loss. Like the second it happened, because I was sitting here at my computer. I literally just got up, walked to the other room, and just sat down on a chair and just stared at a wall for a couple minutes, because that's one of those losses where it's like it just kind of just I can't even be mad. I'm just like, ah. And this is why I'm reminded that these games hate you. I will say though, if anyone's listening to this, I don't know if the algorithm has forsaken me, so I don't know if anybody will. Um, if anyone's listening to this and they wanted to get it for themselves or try these games for themselves, please do. They are incredible. Like, I cannot recommend Shin Megami enough. They make you think, they make you cry, and above all else, they make you really question your humanity, and that's something I look for in the game. I'm not even joking. Like, I have beaten. Like, I was talking about it with my buddy, but I've gone through a lot of the games over and I'm gonna say this. I know I was kind of talking. I was talking smack about the fandom of this game, and I will die on that hill. Um, but I will say this. I think I'm more of the person of I want to know. Um, I want people to play it more unorthodox ways because once you kind of know what works in those games, it's not hard to uh play around that. His physical builds in Shin Megami games are often insanely overpowered. It's not why I run it, and you can say that's a cop out or whatever. But it's not why I run it. But I could see where somebody would be like, "Yeah, okay." I just really do, unironically, enjoy physical builds in any game. Like I run off of what I like to call the Son Goku logic, and that Son Goku logic is I'm going to hit you really, really hard, and it works most of the time. And and when I say works, it will get you through the game almost entirely unopposed, except for in a few key fights. But if you happen to have a team built around, compensating, you know, being that one trick pony, then you'll be fine. Well, I think this is the boring part of the game. Boring part of missions. Yeah, looks like it. So when I say boring part, basically what's gonna happen now is it's gonna be a whole lot of flying back and forth. I get the flying quest over with. And even once I do, the magic in the air quest is going to be. Oh, let me up. There we go. The magic in the air quest is also going to be another. Hey, here's some flying mobs. Get rid of them. Kind of a thing. Go ahead and do. By the hoverboard. Do there. So even if you, I will say, even if you can't afford the quickest board in this game, the ability to fly is going to be faster than you will ever be able to walk, especially again, I can't stress this enough, if you're a new player. It also keeps you safe from monsters that have aggro, but I've learned something more recently in that it does not protect it protects you from ground monsters that have aggro. Um I was uh Starstone. There we go. Oh wow! What? Heck yeah. All right, cool. So now we get to just sit here in transit for a while. All right. On myself. All right, cool. But yeah, Gummy Tensei games definitely. I will say this. Aside from, I think, yeah, no, I think like strictly Nocturne and nothing else. Um, those games are stupidly expensive to get one's hands on, and because it's done by collectors. There are some exceptions, like Nocturne got its quote unquote HD remaster. By that, it's a case of, hey, here's a game that crashes. You can just play it on the PS2. They'll have Dante from the Devil May Cry series without having to pay extra for it, and actually have a fully functional game. Uh, I have it on both. I have the HD remaster on both Switch, and both of them suffer from the same problem. I'm not gonna get in that. Um, I would say Persona's also a good one, but take it with a grain of salt because they have the same demons or the same enemies in a lot of ways that Shin Megami Tensei games do. Well, your allies. I forgot. 3 and 4 have their own enemies. Uh, Persona 5 was kind of where they started blurring the line a bit, enemy wise, between like Shin Megami and Persona. Yes, you still have your Persona specific the bosses, but you also they reintroduced talking mechanics um to recruit demons and stuff, which I think is nice for the Persona series. Makes it feel, yeah, it's definitely, I enjoyed it. Um, but then they've also decided to run Persona 5 into the dirt. Because how many spin-offs has that game got now? You think about Dancing All Night, Strikers, the Meg. Well, P5R could technically be more of a sequel. They always do those. Um, I'm getting lost. Long story short, more anime esque than gendered affair. Basically, basically, because it's got like, you date your waifu, you build up social links. It's basically a playable high school anime that happens, you know, with the Shin Megami Tensei battle system slapped on with it. It's good. I enjoy it, but it's not the same game, and you will have plenty of people that will absolutely die on the hill that they are not the same game, and it's not for real fans of the. I'm not like that. Play what you want. Enjoy what you want. Like, hey, physical builds in Shin Megami Tensei are powerful. Yes. Do I recommend playing them? Yes. If you want an easy time of it. Am I going to sit here and say that anyone that decides to do magic instead is wrong? No. Play what you like. Have fun. That's what that's what I feel the game is about. I like punching things in the face. I don't do it because it's powerful. I do it because it's me. If a game gives me a chance to be basically that game's version of Broly, I'm going to do it. There is no room. Wait, but I've seen people that go more status ailments, more buff heavy, deciding to actually basically make the avatar. I've seen people do it all, and I love it every time because I like games that allow a player-centered focus to combat. For example, I love Tales games as much as I do because what it boils down to, um, captains. Uh, you choose how you want to play. There is no quote unquote wrong way to play. There is, however, a make your life miserable way to play. And here's the thing, if you're willing to put in the time, and I guess grind it out. There is nothing you can easily get through that game. Like there is nothing that um is impossible. Ooh, really? I will take the plug earring for sure. So I also want to say this fun fact for those older players. Um, if y'all remember, and I've played this since the age old time, do you remember the plug earring bit from I forgot what they're called. Let me look it up on the map. The Rockapellers. Back in the day, if you wanted a strong plug earring so you could do more AoE shenanigans, uh, you got uh, basically they dropped a plug earring. I think that was like +7 or +9, or it may have been +5. I don't remember. I'm not. Yeah, I don't remember, but it it was funny, and I still think it's amusing today that I don't think you can do that anymore. I mean, uh, maybe you can. I don't know. FlyFF Universe is not the same as the old game by any stretch of the imagination, but it would be funny if you could. But it was just it. Getting that plug earring reminded me of that because, uh, yeah, it's just it was like, oh, seems old habits die hard. No, you're not guaranteed one. I just thought it just reminded me of it. I ramble a lot. Can you tell? But no, the old Rockefeller thing, man. Because I used to run. I didn't run AOE B. I had a knight back then, and I even had a base tank elemental. Let's see. I did a bow jester, a BP because yes, they used to be way stronger back in the day. I had my knights, which of course I did. I had my bow jester because it was so broke. Uh, had my Elementer, had my RM, of course. Have to have. You have to have one, no matter which version of it. And yeah, I think if I wanted to, I could try to, I guess, quote unquote, recruit a partner. But I don't play this game like that anymore. So and also I've been busy trying to get situated. But other than that, I've thought about it of like trying to get trying to find myself a healing partner so I could get my knight back in order, but anyway, I'm trying to remember. RN, B. Yeah, I did have a blade at one point that I got to hero. Um, I've never made a sidekeeper. I have. I finally made a ranger on this account. Let's see, ranger. P. This one's going to be a blade, so that's going to be done for this. I've I have made a yo-yo jester. I just didn't really do much with it. I think I got to like 83, 84. Um, there was that. Uh, so yeah, I think Sidekeeper's the only thing that I haven't actually made. Also, I'm still very I want to stick to this whole no assistance build or run of this game, but I also would really like to uh not use my RM, but make an assist on my second account, a fresh one, and have it level with this guy. That way I can at least stave off some of this pain that I'm feeling, but I'm not I'm in that's more of a my pride doesn't want me to do that by this point kind of bit, so I'm not going. 7 more. In case anyone is wondering, yes, this is actually much easier. Uh, if you have a ranged attacker, because you don't have to awkwardly fly up to these things. You know what? I think this is a level up, so we're just gonna head back. Yeah. Gonna head back. It's 27%. And I'll get another bit of EXP my back the way I came back to Florence. Ah, the Wogsack quest. Also have the Mayas. Nope. This is the Wogsack quest. Actually, probably this next episode or two is going nothing but a quest fill up. But in my defense, might not be the most entertaining to watch, but it is still making progress as a newbie would, so it still counts. That my justification for spending the last hour practically talking y'all's ear. Whoever might suffer through this is off about Shin Megami Tensei? Yes. I don't know. The only thing I can do in this series is yap. Um, but yeah, I also hope that this is for those who may watch still entertaining. Right. All the way home. Let's go. See so. I could AOE. I just it's not recommended or yeah, I'm gonna go with I've got enough points to max both once I get around to it. But what I may end up doing instead is sake of expediting this leveling process. I those shenanigans. I'm probably going to invest in this combo. You you'll slot it down here, and it'll go 1, 2. But they've also got puzzle piece. It's okay. Anyway, yeah. And the thing about this game is, you don't have uh magic abilities don't have accuracy penalties. They were guaranteed to hit no matter what. So what you do is you put points into it, and it pretty much lowers or takes away the need to worry about accuracy. Unfortunately, though, what this will do is this gauge start these circles start to we'll start to lose color. And what that means is once this gets fully like removed, you can't use the full combo with. Yes, there are items to give you unlimited access to it, but they're cash up items. Yeah. I have a couple in my bank. They give them out like candy these days, so it's not that bad. But not the point. It also is gonna turn this class into being way more uh heavy, or this leveling attempt. However, for the sake of both expedience and um like efficient leveling, I think I'm gonna dip the points into them. That way, I can uh start putting down enemies much quicker than I could before. Alrighty. Yes, if you get the more expensive board, it flies way faster than this. But it is what it is, and this quest slide removes your ability. Cool. Now I have the ability to teleport again. I even got the 50k back from my board. Nice. Alright. Couple last minute things. Gotta make sure to document this one. I don't get a new gear set until 24. Good news is, though, I did find most of the mythic stuff in a brown shield to go with it. So, not doing the worst. At level 30, we're going to be replacing this weapon with something that is way better. Our weapons with something that's way strong. It's just at the end of a quest line. But yeah, once you hit level 30, leveling stops being so much of a pain, and it becomes more as long as you're doing your quests, it starts to like expedite the process because heck, an hour ago we were level 20, I think. Yeah, I believe so. We gained 2 levels from it, and the quest lines still aren't over. Um, I am going to wrap it up here though, because well, time's up. Second off, I need to kind of get more disciplined. I'm better about it when I'm by myself though. I've realized. Anyway, so we'll be in next episode. Will be another day of questing because we're not done with it. We got the walk set quest to do. We've still got to collect the moth bee spores. We still collect all the stone pieces. Easy to do, just time consuming. Uh, but yeah, 2 levels today. Not bad. Not bad progress at all. Good old Hodier fell back here. Actually, better than I expected. Making more money than I thought he would, considering. Also, I am absolutely probably not actually. Um, Because my very first thought is going to be, I want to be best. So, good. Okay. Anyway, that's it for me. Um, I won't even say if anyone. Um, I don't know. Uh, my channel and videos have seen graphics since I released episode 5. Episode 5, episode 4. If anybody watches again, I thank you for lending me your eyeballs, time, ramble on about things I enjoy because that's what I do. Um okay. Uh but yeah. Um that's it for this episode. Again, next day we do this going to be Friday. Sunday. It'll be Sunday. So um I'll probably be joined on the mic by Hobby Drake as per usual. Because every odd episode is typically in him. And yeah, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it. Uh, I I know I always make. Thank you for your time. I really do appreciate anyone at this point. But again, this is serious about me spending some time in a world I love. I could tell stories. I could tell 1,000 my time in this. Oh boy, who knows? Maybe get around to it or something. But that's neither here nor there. Y'all enjoy yourselves. Take it easy. I'm out of here. Yeah, I'll see y'all next time. I'm gonna try to make a normal funny. This is your bird boy hero signing off. Bye.